While my previous focus on Edison 100 and my stint grinding for Go Grand Prix Seattle say otherwise, I still keep up with and enjoy modern Yu-Gi-Oh! I love where Genesis is in having a fresh new take on modern in the vein of Canadian Highlander. I love where the modern format is currently. Decks are super dynamic and fun to play. However, the state of modern sealed product has been less than desirable. I believe there are 3 inherent issues to why modern product is like this, and I hope we can break them down and resolve these issues. Number 1. Product is way too expensive for local game stores. If you've watched this video, you know that currently stores are paying around $60 per box, meaning they have no chance of competing with what boxes are selling for online. Most modern sealed booster boxes are hovering around $20 to $40 on TCG Player. The most impactful set of the year, Justice Hunters Online, is sitting around $42 before tax, which is way under MSRP. Even for a product that's about half a decade old, with chance at Starlights, the boxes are still basically at MSRP. Compare that to boxes in Magic the Gathering. These sets are all currently in standard, and Spider-Man was known as a quote-unquote bad and weak set, yet it's still around $100 per box. And boxes in Magic sell for about $80 to $90 if you buy them from a distributor. While Universes and Beyond sets will vary between what people want and what they don't, Foundations is an in-universe set that's selling for whatever Spider-Man is, and both of them are above what you would buy from a distributor. Here's some prices from my local store, Geek Fortress, here in Washington. The prices for these Magic the Gathering sets are pretty close to what they are on TCG Player, meaning it'd actually be in my best interest to go pick them up from my local game store, since it would both support them and it's basically what I would pay for shipping from an online retailer. And that's good. That's exactly where we want to be for a product. Now let's compare the prices in the Yu-Gi-Oh vein. And as you can see, they're rough. And they're nowhere near that on TCG Player right now, as we've seen. Even on side product like the 2025 Mega Pack, they're having to sell so much higher than on TCG Player just because of how much they're charged to get the product. And this product just sits dead on their shelves until I bought up a majority of what they had in a case during Black Friday because it was on sale for $8. Even the product that's very good, like the Fallen the Virtuous Structure deck, is sitting dead on their shelves because it's too high in MSRP, when you can just buy it cheaper online on TCG Player. Because of having to allocate a lot of money towards dead product to even have a shot at a product that actually does move, stores are constantly having to put money aside just to hope something isn't going to be $40 cheaper on TCG Player, and that's not a very sustainable or healthy thing for business. Which leads us into the second reason why we're here. Number 2, product comes out way too frequently. Currently, we are drowning local game stores in things they have to buy to even have a chance at the one thing in a release window that actually moves. If we look at Q3 and Q4 of 2025, you would see out of these 8 products in a 3-month span, only these 3 are really worth anything for competitors. And that includes Justice Hunters, which is the most meta-fighting set of the year. And out of these 3 sets, Retro Pack 2 looks like a little bit of an outlier compared to everything else, but I believe RP2 is a great foundation of what a set should look like. Retro Pack 2 gave Time Wizard players a chance at sought for cards, again like the Limited Gores, the Emissary of Darkness Secret, and it's the only set here that people would purchase for both a collector and a competitor reason, either because of nostalgia or because the set is balanced with good sought after retro cards in the lower rarities like Bring Destruction, Gores, Nobleman Kaiku, Master Restrict, Bottomless, GK Spy, that you see play in the community-run Time Wizard events that Konami's dropped support for. The set has a very good balance between really good top-end and a ton of staples at varying rarities. Modern booster boxes lack this balance where there's only 2 to 3 playable archetypes in a box that are all super high rarity, or maybe like 2 supers and a common, and the rest of the box is basically worthless. Magic solved this issue by supporting limited since boxes are meant to draft, meaning if a set doesn't have a positive EV, you can always get people together to draft a box of the newest product. Yu-Gi-Oh's tinkered with limited in the past, but without the sets being built with draft in mind, it just never stuck here in the TCG. But that's a topic that's been talked to death by MBT, and I highly suggest watching Joseph's videos about limited play for Yu-Gi-Oh if you're interested in that topic. But bar limited play, there are multiple cards in every rarity in Magic to retain some value for either being good in an Eternal format, or being good in Standard so there's value spread out throughout the set. Yu-Gi-Oh's boxes are full of archetypes that are nowhere near the power level of the meta decks at the lower level, and it feels like a majority of the set is just bloated with pack filler that doesn't impact anything of meta relevance. Even in formats like Genesis, where those lower power decks are supposed to have a chance to shine, they're just not even close to like the second or third best decks in a box. There will be a rare occasion sometimes where a piece of legacy support will make an archetype consideration for a couple of weeks, and then people will gravitate back to whatever is the strongest at the time. However, there's a game that is far better about box structure than both Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic that shows that you can balance having pack filler, amazing meta-defining cards at low rarity, and it's our third reason why Yu-Gi-Oh! Core sets are so much worse off. Number 3. Pokemon Booster Box Structure. Pokemon by far has the best box structure for their core sets out of any game. Competitive cards are uncommon, common, and rare, with some high impact cards in the ultra rare slot at either their based version or different alt art, full art, or illustrated rare versions that have a low hit rate. While a lot of the cards in the set are still in playable pack filter in the same vein as Yugi, A lot of the cards that mean something to the metagame are so easily accessible that it makes it both fun to open as a collector and easy to obtain the cards as a competitor. It's the sweet spot that the game really needs. Pokemon also lets every card in a set, except for those Ultra slots, be either holo or non-holo, meaning you could play either the same deck on a budget of $40 or $4,000, getting the most bougie blinged out version of your deck if you wanted to. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Lacks that cadence right now. Pokemon found the sweet spot to be able to cater to both competitive and collectors, and unfortunately, Konami has shot collectors in the foot over the recent years. When Konami started reprinting Starlights as QCRs, it tanked the value of so many modern collectible cards that it did the complete opposite of what it should have done. Instead of having this new rarity that was sought after, it drove down the price of modern collectibles so much that people with max rarity versions of their decks felt so burned that they didn't want to invest in those kind of cards anymore. So what do we do to fix those issues? Here are some of my ideas that I think will help alleviate the problems in the long run. Number 1, if product structure isn't going to change, then the price should change. Local game stores should be able to buy core sets for a third of what they currently go for. If a local game store could pick up a core set for $20 right now and sell it for $40, it would solve a major issue. Pricing boxes aggressively like that for weaker sets would mean that stores wouldn't have to lose so much money on investing in the weak sets to get a better product, and it would make it so that there isn't much of a reason to go on TCG Player compared to just walking your LGS if they're practically the same price. Number 2, product with better quality and less quantity. It is okay to have an aggressive reprint cycle. After all, Pokemon does it for competitive staples. However, the sheer number of superfluous product make it so that there are so many sets that don't do anything for anyone. These sets could have had their cards spread out in core sets, so that at the low end, these core sets would have had more value. Side sets and side products that just sit on shelves until they're at 80% clearance and people still don't buy them, don't do anything for LGSs and actively hurt them in the long term. We need more meaningful core sets that people would invest into that are full of legacy support cards, these cards for all the different archetypes that are released in deck build packs. They should all just be in the core sets instead. Sets should be full of legacy support cards at the low end and the new toys and engines at the high end to stretch the product so much further for both the casuals and collectors. Number 3, every product should be structured either just like Justice Hunters or fully adopt Pokemon's model. Pokemon has shown us the structure that works the best. Every card that's a staple should both come as a non-holo and have a basic holo within the set. And then you have a select curated list of cards that either have a chance of being Secret, Starlight, or the new Frame Break rarity. As long as those Frame Breaks and Starlights never get reprinted, and you can only get them in that specific set, it would make Yu-Gi-Oh! Collectible again, and so many people would come back into the game and enjoy it. It also means that boxes will carry value over time, meaning that stores with older product won't feel like it's just dead sitting on their shelves. Going this route, I would completely get rid of Megatins, deck build sets, and only leave Rarity Collection, core sets, structure decks, and the legendary decks. I think those are the core Yu-Gi-Oh! Products that Konami should be focusing on only. And if a card needs a higher rarity version than like a basic holo, you could introduce a frame break version in a rarity collection that's only available in that rarity collection, so that they also retain value over time. Cutting it down to these core products means we have less of the volume of products that just sit dead, and it makes it way easier for local game stores to have product that will actually move over time. And I think that approach solves the biggest fundamental issue with modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Product. But those are just my thoughts about it. If you have your own thoughts or conclusions about it, or disagree with me in any way, leave a comment and I would love to open up the floor for anyone to say what they think could help, to discuss what they think could improve the situation, or genuinely, if you wanted to say hello. Thank you everybody for watching. If you like this video, consider subscribing and spreading this video around to get more people engaged with the conversation. I've been Sivia, and I'll see you in the next video.